What does equity mean?
I don't know, because whenever I hear equity, I always see that there's a cartoon that's always shown, isn't there? And there's like a fence.
Yeah.
And there's three children of different heights. And one of them, they're all standing on the same thing, and the other one of them, I can't remember. So I could do with some more education on that.
So people get equity and equality mixed up. So equality is basically equality of opportunity. That means we shouldn't be putting barriers in front of people for them to get the opportunity to do what they want to do. They may fail at it because they weren't good enough, because they're incompetent, because they didn't have the qualifications. But we shouldn't stop you trying to be an engineer. We shouldn't stop you trying to be a footballer. That's equality of opportunity. That everyone can have a go, and then the best will go through. Equity is about the equality. It's about the equality of outcome, which means you look at every group in society: men, women, black, white, gay, Muslim, Hindu, disabled, whatever, and you say they're 10% of the society. Therefore, they should be 10% of the MPs. They should be 10% of BBC reporters. They should be 10% of CEOs. And
10% of brickies.
10% of brickies, 10% of rat catchers. So because we talked about sixth form student union activism, that's what this is about. It seems fair.
Yeah.
Well, that seems fair. But to get to that, you've got to, discriminate against people, like the Royal Air Force did. We're now rejecting all white pilots. They did that a couple of years ago. Got found guilty in court. It was policy. You've got to start discriminating against people, and you're not based not on merit. And you then, at a certain stage, you're going to have to force people to be a rat catcher. You're going to have to force people to do these things. And when you start forcing people, it all comes down to the barrel of a gun eventually. So you might not want to be a bricklayer, but you know what? We've looked at the quotas. We're now short of mixed race, white, Indian, bearded, quite sarky people to be bricklayers. And you need a job. That's your job.
Yeah.
That's how that will work out. And that's why equity is extremely dangerous, because it ends up with the babble of a gun. You will do what we tell you to do, because if you don't, that's just not equality, is it?
Yeah, but what it does, which is the thing that I always find the most distasteful, is it doesn't work it on merit. And
it's got nothing to do with merit. It's to do with your identity.
Yeah, and the reason I find that worrying is because they did all this in the Ivy League schools in America, didn't they? They had equity, so they had to have a percentage of black people, a percentage of Asian people, and as a result, a lot of highly gifted, highly intelligent Asians and white people didn't get to the top universities. Now that has got to have an impact on the country.
Of course it does.
If you've got your top universities, academic, where the top physicists, mathematicians, scientists come out of, you need the best people in there. That's what creates the power and the driving force of a country, of its intelligence, and everything like that. And by bringing in these rules in America, I think that has had a major impact on the quality of creativity, intelligence, physics, inventions, all that sort of stuff,
of course
coming out of there. And I think we've done the same in the UK,
well,
in Oxford and Cambridge.
It's the same here, and I've seen it in the local government. We hire people now on identity, and we wonder why nothing works. Wonder why it's all incompetent. It's because half the people working there never should have got the job in the first place. There was a news report last year. A whistleblower from Boeing stated to the press that Boeing's planes are now much more unsafe due to DEI.
Really?
Yeah.
Because the engineers were all...
He says, we're not hiring on merit anymore now, we're hiring on equity. And he says, our planes now are not as safe as they used to be.
Yeah. It's a very scary thing, I think. And I think you're right. The quality and lowering in what we perceive as standards in various businesses, retail, hotels, all that sort of stuff. I think it's changed, and we've seen it specifically with Trump and the head of security, didn't we?
Yeah.
Head of security was a woman
Yeah.
who used to work at Pepsi,
Yeah.
I think, put in charge of security, not a highly experienced ex-security army person or whatever who would have the relevant experience. This is somebody who didn't have the relevant experience,
but
put
was
in
a
charge,
woman.
and a woman, and Trump got his ears shut off.
Yeah.
You know, so
And a few weeks later, there was another report from the Secret Service at a Trump meeting in a hotel, and one of the female Secret Service was found in a room breastfeeding a baby, and had left a post. It's like, you can't make this crap up.
But did you see that little fat woman who was involved in the Trump thing? And she was like, at one point she was hiding at one point, couldn't find a gun at
Yeah, it's comical.
It was, but it isn't comical, is it? Because that's his life we're talking about here.
The only time we don't have DEI, really, is in sports.
Yes.
Nobody wants DEI in sports today.
Yeah.
Manchester United may be taking the knee, but they're not trying to recruit more Pakistani footballers, are they? No, they're not.
And it's the opposite in football, because there's far more black players than there are white players, but it's not proportional at all. If you brought DEI into football, you would ruin football, because if you'd have to bring in a lot more white players to replace the black players, and then the quality would drop, and it would just...
So when you have someone arguing for equity, I always go straight to the sports example.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, they get it straight. Oh, yeah, I want my team to win.
Yeah.
I want the best in there.
Yeah.
And 4'2" little Japanese football players, aren't that good, are they?
But the whole hypocrisy of this, it's interesting, isn't it? The hypocrisy is, if you say to somebody, we need DEI in football, they say, oh, it's fine already, we've got lots of black players. But the actual response to that is, yeah, but there's disproportionately.
They're overrepresented.
Yeah, they're overrepresented. It's racist.
Most of them need sacking.
Yeah. But they were like, what? They'll go, what? I don't understand. What do you mean? No, there's too many black
There's
people
a complete
in football.
lack of gingers in the Premier League. There's not enough gingers with freckles.
I think Scott McTominay might be a ginger.
Oh, right.
I'm not sure. So thank you very much, and I'm sure our audience thank you as well for that explanation of what equity is.
Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers, I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.